Hello everybody. Time for another Ixalan Sealed Friendly League. This is the last match in this league. So we'll get to see if how many play points I end up losing. Well, this deck has not been very consistent, so I do worry about that. And this hand isn't great, but I think it's... let's mulligan. This hand, I guess, is a little better. Maybe I should have stayed with the other hand. Gonna dump the forest just because it's not gonna help me play the booter, which is what I really need to play to survive. So maybe mulliganing was a bad decision. I don't feel like I've got a really bad or split mana base. I just am not getting the draws I need, and now not only am I behind a card, I'll be super behind on what's been played. So unless this guy also has a bad deck, I'm gonna be in for a very bad day. Again. I just... you know... I, 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 I almost to the third of the mana in my deck, and I get all forests. I've got about, I think, 9 forests in this deck, so I've drawn half of the forests. And I don't get a single swamp, which is something that could help. But I don't get the help. Hey! There's something. Playing the booter is probably the wrong choice. But we'll see what we end up doing with it. Skullduggery is definitely annoying, but we have vanquished the weak if we can play something down. The Boneyard Parlay is right now not worth it, but it could be more problematic. Looks like he's at least mana screwed as well. I might do... I'm gonna be weird and take the Boneyard Parlay. Frustratingly, I can't play the Knave and then New Horizons, so I have to play the New Horizons, put the little token on my little guy, and then play the Knave. Though what I think I'll end up doing is holding off on playing the Knave, setting up for the block even with Skullduggery, and then playing Vanquish the Weak. I really want to play the Ancient, but I worry about any other removal. So I'm tempted to play the Whiptail instead. I still had that Forest. I might have been able to play that in the Knave, which would have been really cool. But if I play the Ancient, I can swing it next turn, and then play the Whiptail next turn as a defensive play. So I think I might do that. Probably should have held the booter back, but we'll go in with this. We know he has 3 red cards, so I think that's mainly what's in his hand. So he might have drawn something. Yep. 3/3 Menace is a little annoying. The Ravager is definitely interesting. Because if I attack him now, a third of his life rounded up is closer to 7, so that puts him 12. I hit him for 2. That hurts him more. So I think I might go risky. This is definitely a bold move, Cotton, but depending on what he draws, I can swing in. If not, I can block 2 and I'll take 5. So he would have to pump his Dire Fleet in a few ways to somehow survive. He might have some sort of instant lifelink, but I don't think that's the case. I'm assuming he can take out one of my dudes. Nope. So I was able to pull it out even with the mana issues. Let's see what we can do for round 2. He also had mana issues, which is helpful. I didn't see any flyers to put in Crushing Canopy. I still don't really want the Emergent Growth, though, you know, it's got its place in these kind of decks. It might actually be better than the Pirate's Cutlass, given some of the things, and I don't think any of these guys are worth it. So let's run with what we have. At least we've got a few more playables. I'm not thrilled. The Pirate's Cutlass on the Jade Guardian would be pretty sweet. And having the New Horizons is nice. It'd be really cool if we got some 2-drops. That way we didn't waste the counter. There we go. It might make sense to play the Jade Guardian and then play the New Horizons. Just to make it a little bit bigger. If he attacks in, I have to be careful, because even Skullduggery, it would be a 2-for-1 for him, so it's less likely to happen, but it is possible. He doesn't attack, which is good, because I can play the New Horizons. I might hold off on playing the Cutlass, even though I'd really like to play it. Though I could play the Ravager this turn. And then next turn I might have enough for the New Horizons and the Cutlass. And I might even put the counter on the Dire Fleet Ravager. That sounds like the plan. It's risky. Hopefully it pays off. So as much as I want to play the New Horizons, I think I'm going to hold the mana up with Vanquish the Weak. Just that way I can swing in with the Dire Fleet, and then if he does try to pump one of his smaller dudes, I can use Vanquish the Weak. I don't think there are too many 5-mana burn spells. Interesting. Interesting. He could have taken out the Dire Fleet. Is he trying to alpha? I'm going to swing in with both of the big dudes here. I worry about him playing Star of Extinction, so I'm going to hold the Whiptail back. I should have been more worried about the Boneyard Parlay. Doesn't really matter which way I cut this, but I guess this way it gives him a little less power than the other way. He's probably going to take the 2 creatures. He's going to have to double block, and both of his creatures still die. Maybe I should have switched it. Or he doesn't have to double block, he's just going to throw things under the bus that way. Still worried about Star of Extinction. Shouldn't be. But he has to play at least 2 creatures this turn. Or that. So this means he pretty much has the equivalent of 5 life, which, even if I switch the Cutlass onto the other dude, he'll survive. I'd prefer to keep the Ravager alive. So I think I'm just going to attack in as is. The Ravager will still come through. He might double block. Or okay, so he's going to try to take out the Ravager. Which is fine. So he's going to have to come up with a way still to double block 2 creatures or destroy all of everything, which he doesn't. So I was able to pull out a 5/4 ending, which is surprising. But I'm pretty pleased at the last game there. His deck didn't seem to be as bomby as a lot of other decks, which I think really helped. So thank you for watching. And I look forward to showing you guys the next games. I'll be away for a little bit, but look forward to something late October, early November.